接下来我们看一下西游。好，这个我们前面已经离开了。
Well, we had already talked about how
Ponsekar
Rinpoche departed from Napa Valley after 11 days of teaching. And then he stayed at Rinzin for a night and then departed from Rinzin on July the 20th and set off to Jasicholing in the southern Oregon. Whenever you have an opportunity, I really hope that you can visit Jasicholing because over there they've kept a piece of crystal that Ponsekar Rinpoche left before he left the United States. Ponsekar Rinpoche manifested his miraculous power on that piece of crystal. He pressed into that crystal just as if he was pressing into a torma and left his fingerprints on that piece of crystal. So whenever you have an opportunity, I hope that you can visit there and look at that crystal. The Jasicholing is the center built by the first Dudrum Rinpoche, and it's not that difficult to commute to there either. So if you have an opportunity, it could be possible for you to visit. Unfortunately, Gyatso Rinpoche passed away last year, but his center is still there. On the road trip, we enjoyed the beautiful scenery of the West Coast. Its rich forests and mountains along the way were quite similar to those from the land of Tibet, which refreshed all of us along the way. The scenery that impressed me the most was Mount Shasta, a snow-capped dormant volcano with an elevation of 14,163 feet. That is about 4,316 meters, which is a bit higher even than Larungar. According to the record of eruptions over the last 10,000 years, at least one eruption occurs every 800 to 600 years at Mount Shasta. Native Americans in the area believe it to be the center of the world, and it is as holy to them as Khan Rinpoche to Tibetans, so as Mount Kailash. In recent decades, being connected to a mythical power that emanates peace and harmony, it has attracted a lot of followers of spirituality, such as yoga practitioners. It has become a site for meditation, holy temples, and shrines, and is also known as a destination that houses many spiritual retreats throughout the year. Practitioners there believe this sacred mountain is endowed with inexpressible magical power, which enables them to sustain their inner peace. When we took a break at the foot of the mountain, Choji got out of the car and enjoyed the mountain view. He also listened to some locals talking about the mystery of Mount Shasta. In fact, whenever Ponsekar Rinpoche were to encounter some beautiful sceneries on the road, he would then take a short break. He would stop the car, and then we would take a rest all together to have some tea and eat something. Maybe it has something to do with the Tibetans' habit. So this habit were carried with us abroad as well as domestically. We do not have the habit to look for hotels or restaurants. Rather, we would stay at the place mainly has a beautiful natural scenery, and then we would set up a small campfire, and then boil some tea, get some smoke, and have some simple snack. Ponsekar Rinpoche would really prefer that. Sometimes I would see some beautiful sceneries, and I would fantasize to have a short break with Ponsekar Rinpoche again, and I would think to myself, Ponsekar Rinpoche would have stopped here and take a break, and then we would continue with the road, with the journey. After 2 or 3 hours drive, we arrived at Jasicholing, the main temple of Gyatso Rinpoche, located to the south of Ashland, Oregon. People at the temple greeted Ishino with a grand reception ceremony in accordance with the Tibetan tradition. edition, and made offerings to him with the representatives of the three jewels and other materials. They also invited Pontsog Rinpoche to consecrate the main shrine hall of the Chanshi and the Buddha statue inside. In the afternoon, he gave some teachings to the local Buddhists. On the second page, as you can see, there is a photo, and there is one. The one sitting beside me, his name is Nima, and he had already derobed. He has a few children now living in New York, I think. And the one standing behind me, the yogi with hair, his name is Sonam, and the eldest son of Dudram Rinpoche and the father of Khenpo Rinpoche. His disciple is the abbot of a monastery called Bama Oser Lin. The one beside him is Lama Oser, and then the other one, Lama Jingmei. Lama Jingmei is currently in Taiwan, and last year we had a video conference where I interviewed him, also Gyatso Rinpoche, and the one beside him, that is Lingcho Rinpoche. The rest of the people on this photo, you know who they are. And the other photo, you can see that Pontsog Rinpoche, along with the rest of the people, were holding rice in their hand, and that was the consecration ritual. In the evening, in the temple, Choji watched a video of Dudram Rinpoche conferring Vajrasattva empowerment. He said to us, "I was eager to meet Dudram Rinpoche. Unfortunately, however, I don't have this opportunity in this life since he has already passed into parinirvana. In order to build a connection with him, we can watch this video recording and recite the liturgy when it needs to be recited during the empowerment, as if we were receiving the empowerment in front of Dudram Rinpoche in person." So we were reciting the liturgy during the empowerment. The empowerment was given in Sycamore, India, and the video was of a high quality. After watching this video, Khenpo Rinpoche seemed to have truly received the empowerment from Dudram Rinpoche. For ordinary practitioners, the empowerments and transmissions received through videos cannot be considered genuine transmissions, so they cannot be transmitted forward to others. However, in terms of personal practice, you can receive special blessings through the video and audio recordings of great masters. Well, as an ordinary being, you should not consider those kinds of empowerments received through videos being genuine empowerments, and you should not receive the Vajrayana teachings just because you received a video recording of empowerment. When we have the simultaneous teachings, when we have the simultaneous interpreting of an empowerment, and you receive that empowerment simultaneously at the same time, then that is considered as receiving the oral transmission. However, through phone calls and through videos and audio, since it has lots of visualization when it comes to empowerment, if all of you were to consider that you have received empowerment through video recordings, it is rather not a suggested method, especially when it comes to some special empowerments. Also, we need to be quite aware of this because we don't want it to become a terrible tradition to harm Tibetan Buddhism. But for Pontsog Rinpoche, he relied on this auspicious tendril and received this Vajrasattva empowerment. The next one is laughter inside the tent. On the morning of July the 21st, the Gyatso Rinpoche offered a red outdoor camping tent to Yijinro. Well, this particular red tent, as you can see in the photo, Pontsog Rinpoche kept on saying that this is Gyatso's tent because it was an offering from Gyatso to Rinpoche, I think maybe this tent is still in the collection of Lama Mentok, but I didn't dare to ask her. Well, the tent was already put up on the grass, and Rinpoche seemed to like it a lot and said it could be used in summer when we were back in the land of Tibet. The tent looked small, but unexpectedly, all 13 of us managed to sit inside, and it didn't look crowded at all. To bless the tent, Choji first let us chant the Wandu and then the mantra of non-principled magnetizing deities, and then all of a sudden he started to chant the mantra of Yellow Zambala. During the chanting, he suddenly stopped and said, "Why am I chanting the Yellow Zambala mantra? It seems that this is a special interdependent origination. I have been a poor and content monk for the past 60 years, and now I am older than 60, and my wealth will gradually increase." Indeed, as Choji predicted, his wealth and possessions increased more and more from then on. At that time, I also followed Ponso Rinpoche and chanted the Yellow Zambala mantra, and in my memory, my life, I had a rather very humble lifestyle. But after chanting the Yellow Zambala with Ponso Rinpoche at the time, it seems that my life and my wealth started to get more abundant. But I had never purposely practiced abundance, and I don't really pass the oral transmission or teach the sadhana of Yellow Zambala either, because I think sometimes wealth can be a fetterment for the practitioners. I'm not sure if my abundance comes from chanting with Choji, and I think it could be because it seems that Khenpo Namdo is also doing well in this regard. Rinpoche jokingly continued this topic and said, "It is very good to be wealthy. A monk from my hometown named Jiangyang always says that all phenomena arises from possessions." Because in the Tibetan language, cause and possession are the same syllable. And the Buddha taught that all phenomena arises from causes and conditions. It could mean cause and conditions, and it also could it sounds like possession, the word possession. So the monk misunderstands it as all phenomena arises from possessions. So he frequently says that getting rich is very essential in practicing the Dharma, and all Dharma practitioners must be wealthy. And Choji mimicked Jiangyang's tone of voice, and we all burst out with laughter. Ponso Rinpoche just mimicked Jiangyang Lama's tone. Maybe this Lama didn't study extensively enough, so that he misunderstood it too, means possession rather than causes and conditions. So he said that having wealth is really good, having riches is really good. You have to be wealthy in order to have a good Dharma practice. And then all of us just burst out with laughter. Our bodies shaking back and forth with laughter. Then a student offered yogurt to Choji. Seeing it, he said that yogurt was my basic food when I studied at Chama Hermitage in Sershu. To create an auspicious interdependence today, instead of using bowls, I will give each of you some yogurt in your hands. We all joyfully held our hands to receive the yogurt given by Rinpoche. So all of us just received yogurt in our hands. If you have yogurt by your hand, you should also do that. I don't have yogurt, unfortunately. I have tea, so I'll take some tea. Wow, there's some yogurt here. Well, for the rest of you, maybe you should prepare some yogurt for next class, and then we'll take some yogurt in our hand. I didn't get the opportunity to prepare it today, but you can take the yogurt while chanting the dedication of merit with some king aspiration of Samanabhadra.